Well, hi everyone. This is Gavin here from Break Free from Corporate, and I just wanted to say a big thank you for logging on to this webinar. I'm very excited to be doing this. I don't know about you, but I've been looking forward to this for a very long time, and I'm really grateful that you could join us. Now, there's going to be quite a few people on this call, on this webinar, and what we're going to do is just wait for a couple of seconds here while people log themselves in. I can see a few people joining as we speak. So guys, welcome. As you're joining in, just going to mute everyone at this point and give us about maybe 30 seconds before we join in. But can I just get a quick show of hands from some of the people that are already on? If you can hear me okay, and can you see the title screen on your computer that says Break Free from Corporate with a motorcycle, and it says the Corporate Escape Accelerator? Can I just get a quick show of hands? Yep, fantastic. Okay. All right, yep, good, coming through clearly. All right, excellent. Okay, cool, guys. Well, what I'll say is go and grab yourself a glass of water if you like, or a cup of tea. Just make sure you got a notepad handy, and we'll be with you in about 30 seconds. We're gonna kick this off officially, all right? Thanks very much, guys. Speak to you soon. Okay, it's almost time to kick this off. All right, guys, thank you for being patient with us. We've got quite a lot of people now on the webinar, so I'm going to kick it off. Guys, welcome. This is our Corporate Escape Accelerator webinar. Thank you so much for being a part of this. My name is Gavin Sequeira. I'm your host. I'm also the founder and creator of the program, and the founder of Break Free from Corporate. I just wanted to welcome you personally, and it's my great pleasure to walk you through what I think is going to be a fantastic hour that we're going to share together. I've done a lot of webinars in the past, but this is one that I'm particularly passionate about. And you know, a lot of what I've done over the last few years has led to this point. And now it's my great pleasure to really be able to share this with you. So thank you very much. Strap yourselves in and let's kick it off. All right, here we go. Before we actually get into the meat of this presentation, this webinar, I just wanted to kind of preface it with a little bit of a quote from one of my mentors, and I've got a lot of mentors, and some of them are alive and some aren't, but John F. Kennedy was a great inspiration, and one of the things he said, and he said a lot of great things in his time, but one of the things he said was, efforts and courage are not enough without purpose and direction. And I really took that to heart when I first read that quote, and I love John F. Kennedy's quotes, but this one in particular is all about having some sort of purpose and direction. And I guess the whole reason we're all on this webinar today is to kind of find that purpose and direction, because, you know, we're all stuck in our jobs. We're all stuck in corporate where we are at the moment, and we're looking for a way to get out of it, to break free from it and do something that we're passionate about. So you can get out there and you can do a lot of hard work, but without purpose and direction, it's a bit meaningless. So hopefully this webinar will provide you with that direction and purpose. All right. So with that in mind, let's just have a look at what some other people are saying that have either gone through this program or broken free from corporate, started their own business. And we have Simone from Sydney in New South Wales. Simone says that Gavin is an absolute pleasure to associate with and incredibly generous. The generosity of his latest mission is to save offboarding corporates a heck of a lot of time, money, and stress in their journey. From the security of a job to the freedom of their own business venture. I wish I knew Gavin when I left corporate. You know, Simone, I totally appreciate what you're saying here. I wish I knew someone who could have helped me through my journey as well. And you've done some magnificent work in creating and starting your business and getting out of what was a very successful corporate career. So all the very best to you, Simone. Thank you so much for your kind words. And then Paul from Sydney in New South Wales also says, Gavin is very passionate and skilled in helping people transition from the corporate world into their own business. If you are looking for guidance during your transition, I highly recommend you talk to Gavin. Thank you so much, Paul. That is really very kind of you to say. And again, look, guys, I'm just a voice out here. I've put together a lot of information over the years, but it hasn't been all my doing. I've had some really great mentors and people that have helped me. And I know how difficult it can be to transition from anything in life, especially going from a high-paying corporate job into something that is a little bit unknown. So thank you, Paul, for that. And you've got a great business that you've set up yourself. So all the very best to you as well. And finally, I just want to share a few words from John from Melbourne, who's become a good friend of mine. John says that if you're planning your escape from the corporate world into your own business, don't do it alone. Gavin Sequeira has eloquently mapped out everything you'll need to succeed in creating the life you desire. And this is coming from someone who is a recognized speaker and educator in his own right. And John has been doing some very successful things in the property development business and is mentoring and coaching himself. And John, thank you very much for those kind words. And it's people like yourself that inspire me to do what I'm doing. So guys, I just want to share a few quotes out there, but there's a lot of other people and there's a lot of other people I've spoken to, interviewed on my podcast, and you can listen to their stories as well. So with that in mind, here's what we're going to cover in today's webinar. So I've got a little agenda I want to share with you. The first thing I'm going to go through is just a little bit of background on myself. If you're kind of wondering, well, who am I? What have I done? Why do I deserve to be talking to you? And what is it that I have to say that's going to be so important to helping you make this transition? I'm going to share that with you guys. All right. I'm going to share with you the 3 biggest fears that people have when actually going about this whole business of transitioning from corporate. What are the 3 biggest fears that people have? There's many, and these are 3 that I'm going to share with you. Okay. What are most people looking for? If I were to ask you, what are some of the things that you're actually looking to achieve as you make this transition? And hopefully you'll identify with some of the ones that I've come up with, having spoken to a lot of people, and you probably have many of your own. And I'd love to hear from you. And during this webinar, we're going to make it interactive, so you can feel free to type in, and I'll just read your comments out as they come along. Okay. So that way we can share it with other people. And then what is your why? Why do you actually want to do this? I mean, everything starts off with your why. If you haven't got a strong enough why and purpose and direction, just like John F. Kennedy said, a lot of this stuff doesn't really ever eventuate. So we're going to get really crystal clear on what is your why, at least to start that process off. I'll share with you what my why is, and you'll get to see that as well. Okay. And then we're going to talk about the 5 key principles to succeed in this transition from the corporate world. Now, there's many people that will give you all kinds of advice. And I've spoken to a lot of people that have done this successfully. And what I've noticed is a trend and a pattern. And all of them have at least these 5 key principles. And I've taken great care to make sure that these are the principles I'm going to share with you today. And hopefully if you follow them, there's no reason why you can't succeed as well. All right. And then we're going to talk about common roadblocks that stop everyone dead in their tracks. And guys, it doesn't matter how successful you get in business, you're going to hit these roadblocks. All right. So let's just tackle them right now up front in this webinar, so that when they do occur, your mind is prepared and you're aware of them and you can get past it. It's all about, preparation. And then a lot of people say to us, well, how do you actually help people to make this transition? So over the years, I've kind of put together a model, and, I'm really excited to be able to share this with you guys. So later on in the webinar, we'll be talking about the model we use with everyday people just like you and I to actually execute this kind of plan. All right. And it's a plan that is customized for you. So remember, we're all busy people. I know if you're in corporate, you're probably in meetings, you're traveling, you've got a family, you've got lots of deadlines. It's busy, right? How can you take on another program or something that's going to help you? You probably don't have the time. But remember, everyone can spare a few minutes a day to think about their future. And this program is customized for even the busiest person. All right. And if you make it this far into the webinar, guys, I've got a webinar special offer that I'd like to offer anyone who stays that long into the webinar. And basically, it's going to be something that's going to excite you, and then you could take advantage of. So I hope that that is something you're looking forward to. Guys, I'm really excited to kick this off. So let's get it all rolling. All right, here we go. So a little bit about me. Now, who is Gavin Sequeira? That's myself. Guys, you can see my picture there. You've probably checked out my website, or you've gone online and seen me on LinkedIn, or seen some of the media stuff I've done recently. But I'm just a regular guy, and I used to work in corporate, and I went down the path of all the traditional routes. If anyone has ever read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, you'll know that Robert Kiyosaki talked about the common theme in life, which is go to school, study hard, get a good job, get a corporate job, and try and do your best. And really that was the path I was headed along. And here's, some of the things I did. I went to the University of Sydney. I went and I did an engineering degree. I did a commerce degree as well. And here I was academically qualified to take on the world. And I did an MBA as well at the University of New South Wales and Sydney University. And, now I've got all of these things under my belt to really help me succeed in corporate. And my goal was maybe one day get to a very senior position, maybe a CEO of a company. And, that was a very admirable thing to hope for. And that was, that was the hopes and aspirations I had. And I worked for big companies like IBM straight out of university as a graduate. Very, very exciting. I spent about 9 years at IBM, traveled the world, had an exciting time, met some amazing people, learned a heck of a lot about how the corporate world works. And I found some things that I didn't like. And when I got to the point where I kind of needed a change, I was headhunted and taken over by Oracle, who offered me an even better corporate role, more travel, more pay, more everything. And, once again, kept in that corporate environment. And I grew a lot, but I also hit this point where I realized, hey, you know what? I'm just not feeling it anymore. And I kind of to feel like something was missing. I didn't quite know what it was, but I just didn't feel passionate about what I was doing. And I'd walk into the office and I started losing a little bit of that zest for life, and I don't know if you guys have hit that point already. I guess the fact that you're on this webinar, maybe you have. And I started to think about other things that I could do outside of Oracle. And it was about this time when I started my own online business. And, it was exciting. I was doing something different. And people would ask me, hey, can you give me some advice on this? Can you give me some advice on that? And it took me to a coaching kind of angle. And that's when I started helping a lot of people through, personal development and coaching. And I would give advice to people in sales and marketing. That was kind of my strength. And I would help them with their business. And, I got affiliated with a couple of very, very recognizable brands that you can see over there. Business Blueprint, one of the leading educators here in Australia and even overseas. And Action Coach, a lot of you might have even heard or seen these guys around. They're the world's #1 business coaching firm. And I associated myself with a lot of very successful people in both these organizations. And, through them, I was able to impact hundreds of people right across the country because I got to work with them closely with their business. And I really got to understand the trials and tribulations of people that are making that transition, what it takes to succeed and all the ups and downs. And that's when I really started Break Free from Corporate, because I kind of wanted to head up my own niche and help people with this and use everything that I'd learned. And having said that, I then went on a mission and I started writing, I started blogging, I started doing podcasts, and a lot of the media started to pick this up. And you'll see there's quite a few publications and radio and TV and things like that that I've been involved in. And I guess my mission is really to just try and share everything that I've come across with as many people as I can. And I even put out a book called Break Free from Corporate. You can see on the bottom left-hand side there, which has helped a lot of people already. But that's my mission, okay? And that's just a little bit of a background into where I've come from. And hopefully with that knowledge and expertise, which I've gathered, over the years with the help of a lot of very successful people, this is what I'm hoping to bring to you on this webinar. Now, one of the main things I came across when I was making the transition was, I hit a lot of roadblocks, and there were a lot of problems that I was facing. And, it was really tricky to kind of isolate any of these. They were all kind of linked together. And I wanted to share with you the top 3 challenges that I personally had. And, hopefully you guys can resonate with this. You probably will agree with all of these and you'd have some of your own. But these were the 3 biggest challenges that I had as I was making that decision to leave corporate. And the biggest one that I had was, gee, you know what? I'm always stressed and I didn't enjoy it. When I first got into the corporate world, it was exciting, right? You're all suited up and you've got a title and you get your business cards and you travel and you do all these exciting things. But after a while, it kind of just got the better of me. I found I was always struggling with deadlines. I had a team to manage. I had, all these pressures and expectations, KPIs and all sorts of things. And especially during the global financial crisis a few years ago, there was a lot of stress at the time on a lot of corporate jobs. And, you know, I was in that position where I didn't know if I was going to have a job the next day, to be perfectly honest. And I was worried about myself. I was worried about my team, about our performance. Are we on the right track? Are we getting recognized? You know, how are we going to protect ourselves in the future? And, you know, after a while, this does weigh itself on you, especially if you have a mortgage and family and things that depend on your, your financial stability. So stress was something that I endured for a long time, and it did take its toll on my health and my eating habits and lack of sleep and, mental capability, all of those things. It does impact your day-to-day routine. So stress was a big thing. I always struggled with time. You know, anyone who knows me when I was back in corporate, and even today, time is not my biggest strength. We all have 24 hours a day. And some of the most successful people I know are the people who can manage their time really effectively. But I really struggled with time management when I was in corporate. I was trying to do too many things. I'm a very busy, active person, between family, between traveling, doing an MBA, working, playing sport, doing all these things. I was always trying to, and I juggled a busy, active social lifestyle as well. And, at the end of the day, it was just, it was taking its toll on me. It was never enough time for me to just stop and think about where my life was headed. I was just doing things day after day, and trying to keep up with the Joneses. And it was just one of those things. So time was definitely a thing that was always running. I was always running out of. So I don't know if you identify with that, but it was a huge one for me. And then finally, I felt like when I was in corporate, I kind of felt like this poor little cute mouse you can see on your screen. I felt like I was not a laboratory rat, so to speak, but I was almost like a cog in a big wheel. I was part of a big experiment. I was this little voice in a big company, and I felt I didn't have control over my future and where I was headed. I was told when to turn up to meetings, which country I had to be in to do a presentation, what KPIs were going to get put on me, and this and that, and the direction of the company was set. I didn't really have much of a say in that. I just had to perform, and it just kept getting harder and harder and harder. And for those of you who are in this rat race and know exactly what I'm talking about, it feels like you're really being controlled by someone else. Sure, you might get the bonuses and the pay rises and all those things, but at the end of the day, it's just enough to keep you where you are, right? And I didn't like that lack of control. So these were my three biggest challenges, guys. And I can see a few people commenting now saying, yep, totally agree. You can see yourself in that same position. Yeah, so that's just where I came from, okay? And obviously, I had to have some sort of a breakthrough to get out of that pattern. And it all really came upon when I met someone that was very dear to me a few years ago and introduced me to personal development. Now, folks, I didn't know what personal development meant, but when I was introduced to it, and I started reading books like Robert Kiyosaki and Rich Dad Poor Dad, and I started reading books like Think and Grow Rich, or listening to people like Jim Rohn, and attending seminars and listening to people like Tony Robbins and doing some of his programs. And I really started opening my eyes to the bigger picture in life and what was possible. And I had multiple breakthroughs. And through personal development, obviously, it just opened up a whole new world. And I'd like to tell you guys, if you haven't gone down this path, this is an amazing, amazing journey to take. And it'll just change who you are. All right, so personal development really opened up my eyes. And suddenly I saw a brighter future. And it was very, very exciting for me. And in that process, I started to question everything. It's interesting when as you're growing and expanding, suddenly the things you took for granted, you start questioning. And I started questioning everything as to, for example, what was my purpose and why? When I got out of bed, what was it I really wanted to achieve? It wasn't to go to work. It was, what was the thing that that would keep me awake at night, and something that I could work towards, like a lifelong burning or a passion. And I started just questioning all of these things, and I discovered my why. It took a long time. It wasn't overnight. But as I got clearer and clearer, and I started asking myself why, and just really getting to the heart of it, my greatest passion, folks, is in helping other people succeed. And believe it or not, I started to see a pattern in everything I did, from the sports that I played which were all team-oriented sports, to the kind of work that I took on and the kind of projects I took on, and even the kind of work I'm doing today, are all designed to help other people. And really, that's a reflection of who I am. And so it was really a breakthrough to get to that point. And the next step in my whole personal development journey was to empower myself to say, okay, well, now that I know what I want to do, how am I actually going to do this? What are the steps I need to take? What's the education I need? What are the skills I need? And who are the people I need to talk to, and the programs and the books and the seminars I need to be a part of, so that I can empower myself to actually make this happen. So these were kind of things that I went through as I was transitioning from corporate, all right? And these are the things that you're going to have to do as well. And look, fast forwarding a few years, the result over this last little while has been nothing short of a roller coaster journey. If I was going to say to you, it's all been smooth sailing, I'd be lying. Guys, it's been challenging, it's been exciting, it's been depressing, it's been exhilarating, it's been a bit of everything. I've gone through all the emotions, and in that process, I've really got to learn a lot about who I am, and a mental toughness that I've developed as well. Because like a roller coaster, you go through your ups and your downs. And I can tell you now, as you transition out of corporate into whatever it is you want to do, you're going to go through this massive roller coaster of up and down. And as long as you know that that's going to happen, let me just tell you, if you can ride out the low points, the high points are very, very exhilarating. They're life-changing, and it's exciting, and you get to see things for what they really are. So, the result for me, and it's an ongoing result, I'm still going through a roller coaster, is exciting, because I know that, as I keep going through the lows, there are some really amazing highs that I'm going to come across. And just knowing that is keeping it exciting. And as I go through this process, one of the things that, I want to share with you is that there's an enormous amount of growth that you will go through. I went through an enormous amount of growth myself. And yes, I was pegged in a little square box, like you can see these plants on your screen. But through personal development and being able to break out of the box, breaking out of the mold, I was able to grow and think outside the square. And I really like this picture because it kind of shows that, even though you're in a community where everyone sort of thinks the same, you can break out of it and you can start to grow on your own. And you can start to flourish. And that's exciting. One of the great things going through this process as well was knowing that I could pursue my passion. I know that a lot of you that are listening to this right now are very talented people, very skilled, very passionate about a lot of things. And there might be something that you just dearly want to do, but you feel like you're being held back, or you might not have the support, or you just don't have the confidence. You don't know if you could really do it or make it work. And knowing that you can actually do it is very, very empowering. And one of the things I really hope you get out of this webinar is that you truly can do it. I mean, what's the worst that can happen, right? We live once, let's make it work, and put yourself out there. But pursuing your passion definitely will be something that you'll never regret, because that's what you were born to do, right? We all have a gift, and it's our duty to fulfill that. And so, pursuing my passion was something that I was really passionate about. And I guess that just opened up this whole freedom of choice. Now, freedom for a lot of people can mean a lot of things. When I first used to think about freedom, I used to think about it on a financial standpoint, having money to do what I wanted to do. But if you think about it even more deeply, freedom can mean just having choice, not having to wake up and go to a 9-to-5 job. It doesn't mean you don't work, but you could be working from home. You could be doing something different. You could be enjoying a different lifestyle. Today, we're conditioned to, working the majority of the year to hopefully getting 2 to 4 weeks or 5 weeks off in the year to have a holiday, right? Or have some vacation time or some time off. Now, it doesn't have to be like that. Imagine if you could work 4 or 5 months in the year or 6 months in the year and take the other 6 months off. I mean, it's just thinking differently, having the ability to create your own freedom and having the choices to do what you want, with whom you want, where you want, and when you want. I mean, that is really exciting stuff, right? And you can plan your future and then execute a plan to get to that point. So having freedom, absolutely amazing. And even just thinking about it is exciting, right? So let me share with you my why and what I want to do. And, I've taken a lot of time. I've gone through many iterations of this, guys, and this is going to change as well. But at the moment, my why, this is what wakes me up every day, is I want to empower over 1 million people, everyday working class people, just like you and me, who want more out of life. They're unhappy in their jobs. They're time poor. They're financially trapped, and they're just generally stuck. They don't know how to get from where they want to, from where they are to where they want to get to. And I want to help them successfully transition towards a lifestyle of their choice, where they can enjoy the time and money freedom that they deserve to do the kind of work that they are passionate about, right? And achieving their potential whilst making positive changes in their life and the world. It's a long, you can see it's a long why. It's quite a lot of words, but again, it's got to capture what wakes you up in the morning, what lights your fires, so to speak. And every time I read this, you know, I feel like my mission is on track, because this is what I want to do. Now, you would say, wow, 1 million people is a lot of people, but really it's not. You know, I really want to impact everyone around the world, if I can, who is in this position. But I think 1 million is not a bad number to aim for. And if I can get past that, wow, you know, that would just be a dream. But for me, this is my why, guys. So now you have a little bit of an insight into what makes me tick. Yep. So I just want to pause it here, maybe stand up, just stretch, because I've been doing a bit of talking so far. I just want you to have a think about what's been really valuable so far in what you've heard and why. And if you wish to write in the chat box, I'll just read out whatever comments come through, and then we'll move on to the next session. Right? But I just want you to pause and reflect, maybe scribble down what has been most valuable and why. I can see a few people writing now, and I can see, some comments here. I'm just going to read it out. It's been really valuable for you to share your story, because it's exactly what I'm going through. Thank you so much for sharing that. Yeah, you're welcome. And I can see, another comment here. Just coming up with your why is actually a very tricky thing. You're absolutely right, Anthea. Your why is something that you really have to question. The first time you come up with your why, it probably isn't exactly your why. It could be, you know, the first layer, and you really got to peel the layers till you get a bit deeper. And I can see Nick here says that, just knowing that it is possible to do something outside of corporate. Look, absolutely. Nick, I didn't know I could do what I'm doing at the moment. You know, if you took me back 10 years, there's no way I would have ever dreamt of, you know, running my own webinars and talking to people on my own and just doing something different. But look, it's absolutely possible. We live in an amazing time where you have access to all the technology to help you out, right? So, guys, continue to ask yourself this question, scribble it down, because it's a question I want you to always be asking, you know, what is valuable to you and why, all right? So moving on now to the next section. Some of the biggest fears that I've found when I've been talking to people that are in this position, including myself, they're enormous. There's so many, and I'm just going to list some of the biggest. These are 3 of the biggest that I've come across, and I just want to see if you relate to them. All right, and if you do, just put a little hands up. All right. It wouldn't surprise you that number 1 is it's just too risky to leave your job and try something else. Who agrees with me here? I can see a number of hands going up. You guys like the picture I put on there of the broken bridge? Who would like to take that first step? I know I wouldn't. Because, geez, you don't know how deep that water is. You don't know if there's going to be alligators or crocodiles in there. I mean, guys, there's a lot of unknowns, and that end of that bridge doesn't even go anywhere. So if someone were to take you on a risky path like this, you're not going to go very far. You're not even going to take that first step, right? Because it's too risky. So totally, that is one of the biggest fears that pretty much everyone I talk to before they make this journey says to me, just too risky. You know, too many businesses that start up fail, et cetera, et cetera. I'm just going to stay put. The next biggest fear, guys, that I come across when I talk to people is timing. It's just not the right time. I'm too busy. We've just had a baby. We've just moved house. I just got a new job. I just got a new promotion. They're making changes in the company. They're restructuring. I've got to travel. I've got to do this. It's never the right time. And I get it, guys. I totally get it. Because when you're in corporate, things move at 1,000,000 miles an hour, especially if you're in a busy job. And I can tell you, for most people, it's never going to be the right time. Because even when you think it's the right time, something in the universe is going to make a change in your personal life so that something happens. It could be someone goes sick in your family, or there's something in your personal life that takes your attention away from what you want to do, or something in your workplace happens where you suddenly have to devote extra time, or you get injured or something like that. Something will happen where it just won't be the right time. So I totally get it. I can see a lot of people writing here going, yep, never the right time. It's not even the right time to do this webinar. But guys, you're on this webinar, so kudos to you, okay? And the third and biggest reason, folks, that I find that holds people back is being a failure. No one wants to fail at anything. I totally get it. I mean, if you're in corporate and you're doing well and you've got a bit of a name and a reputation for yourself, why would you want to jeopardize that? I mean, you're probably a shining example to a lot of people in your family or your community. People look up to you. I know in my family, it was exactly that case. I was the first in my family to finish university, to finish, an MBA, to get a really good corporate role. I was an example to all my sisters. At the end of the day, a lot of my cousins, a lot of my family members were looking up to me. And when I announced that I was leaving corporate, it took them by shock. And one of my biggest fears was, what if I fail at what I'm going to do? How would these guys perceive me? And no one wants to be that failure, right? So I totally get it. I can see a lot of people agreeing with me here. So good. I'm glad that you guys all see that side of it as well. And I want to now turn your attention to, well, what are people actually looking for? Because so we know that you're busy, you're in corporate, and there's a lot of risky propositions to have to leave your current role, whether you like it or not. But leaving could be quite a risky thing. But what are people actually looking for? And I can tell you, when I was leaving corporate and, having spoken to a lot of people who are in this process right now, just like you, what are some of the things that you're looking for? Well, most people, believe it or not, just want to be supported in their journey, whatever that journey is. So if you've got a plan and you want to head in a certain direction and you want to start up a new business or a venture, or you want to take that next phase in your career, a lot of people just want to be supported and want to know that there's going to be people that will be there and go, yep, you can do it. And I couldn't agree with you anymore. I mean, even being a part of a sporting team, you need to be supported. Otherwise, you don't have a team, do you? And having a support environment, absolutely critical. I mean, there's no way that you will succeed leaving the corporate world where you've got all the support there from your team and your management and all the rest of the staff and the organization, and going solo without anyone to back you up. That would be crazy, right? So having a supportive environment, absolutely critical. What about time freedom? I know that time freedom is one of the biggest things that people look for, because you could have all the money in the world, but if you haven't got the time to enjoy it, it's no good. And time freedom is something that I really valued when I was in corporate. And I know, talking to a lot of people, especially people who have families and are busy with kids, etc., there's a lot of people that just don't have the time to enjoy life. And before you know it, you've been working for 20 years, you've been slaving away to pay off that mortgage. You might not be any closer to achieving it, and you're now lost a lot of time. Your kids are grown up, or you've missed those opportunities to travel, or you just missed those opportunities to do some of the things you were always passionate about. And just having time freedom is so valuable. You can't buy back time. But what you can do is you can take the right steps moving forward from here so that you can enjoy more time freedom in the future. So I know that's one thing that a lot of people are aspiring towards. And I guess, talking about the opposite of failure, well, everyone wants to succeed, right? I mean, the fact that you're in corporate, you're probably doing really well and you've enjoyed some success in the past. And if you were to make the transition, well, you'd love to enjoy success again, wouldn't you? You'd like to be recognized for the kind of person you are, someone who goes out, makes it happen, and succeeds. And, unfortunately, guys, not a lot of people get to enjoy this, but success can come in so many ways. It can come financially, and that's typically how most people would view success. Sometimes people just feel like if they are successful, their life will just be better. They'll have more time to enjoy life. They'll be happier. They'll be a better person. They'll be able to contribute more back to society. They'll be able to spend more time with their family. They'll be able to take more holidays and enjoy life. And that's a measure of their success. So whatever it is that you think success represents, I know that you're looking for that, and as is everyone else. And success is something that everyone craves. So I want to, I know there's a lot more other things that we can talk about. And I can see a lot of people said, yep, I want to be successful too. Get it? I totally get it. What is it that you want specifically and why? I mean, what are some of the things? And I'm going to now ask you guys to write these down. Don't share it just yet, okay? Because a little bit later in the presentation, I'm going to ask you guys to share some of this stuff. But write down one or two things that come to your mind. Maybe we've already talked about it, like success or time freedom or money freedom or just less stress in your life. What is it that you want and why? So take about 10 seconds. I'm going to just have a quick sip of water and then we'll come back to this, all right? Thanks, guys. All right. Okay. Thank you for doing that little piece of exercise. Very critical. You won't believe how many people don't actually ever take the time to work out what is it they truly want in life. And it's sad. But even if it took you only 10 seconds to think about it, you're ahead of so many other people already at this point. So well done, guys. Now, I want to share a story with you. This is a good point to actually share a story of someone that is a good friend of mine and someone that I've known for a few years and was in the corporate world, very successful as a business advisor, fund manager, stock broker, investor, one of those guys that dealt with shares and fund management and all of those sort of things, all the exciting stuff. I can hear you guys, some of you rolling your eyes going, oh gosh, geez. But Terry was very successful at what he did. But he got to a point where it started to take a toll on his health. And, he had to actually take time off from work. So this was one of his reasons for leaving corporate, to really get better. He got sick, all the pressures and the stress and all started to take a toll on his life. And, Terry wanted to spend more time with his family or with his wife. And he took time off, really did a lot of personal development. I mean, I did a few programs with Terry and speaking to him and just, he read a lot of books. And he was someone who was determined to turn his life around. And he knew that he couldn't go back to the old way. He had to discover a new way. And Terry was very good at what he did. He was good at managing funds. He was good at managing money. And he was good at talking to people about it and educating people. And through his discovery and his passion for helping people, he actually put together his own fund, his own hedge fund. And he's also developed an online program called the Freedom Trader that helps people to manage their own shares. This is mom and dad investors. And Terry has been super successful since launching his business, and really as an entrepreneur now is starting to enjoy that time freedom and financial freedom and, spending more quality time with his wife, Edelyn, and his health is so much better. Every time I look and talk to Terry, he's smiling, he's happy. And, I just wanted to share a story, guys, of someone that I personally know who's done this journey. And, but he had to reach a point where he wasn't going back. It was all about moving forward. And did he go through some tough times? Absolutely. But he came out on top, and so can you. All right. So I want you to be thinking, what is it that you really want and why? And again, always coming back to that question. So thanks, Terry, for allowing us to share your story. And now I'm going to move on to the next section, guys, which is decision time. Do you want to take the new way, or are you stuck in the old way of thinking? What's it going to be, old or new? New. Okay, new. I can see a lot of people going, hell yes, new. All right, excellent. So we're all on the same page. We're all ready to take the next step in this journey. All right, let's kick it off. So here's my promise to you, guys. If you follow this path that I'm laying out for you, right, I can promise you that your journey in life is going to be a lot easier to make that transition. Because having done this with a lot of people, I know that there are some key principles. If you follow it, you will definitely succeed. Now, I can't make it happen for you. I can't promise you that you're going to succeed, but I can promise you that it will be easier, and you vastly improve the chances of you succeeding by you just going down this path and following a proven set of principles. All right. So I'm going to lay these out for you now. There are 5 key principles that these are tested and proven. I haven't put these together. I'm just outlaying what I know works. And I've personally used it, as has Terry, as is a lot of people that I've spoken to on my podcast. And these are the 5 key principles that if you follow and do this diligently, you will definitely get to a better place. All right. So the first one is called self-discovery. Now, like I mentioned when I did my personal development, and so did Terry, and so did quite a lot of other people, this is where you really get to discover who you are. It's like drawing a line in the sand. Where are you starting from? Forget about everything in the past. It's where are you today, and what is the reality of the situation. There's no point sugarcoating it or trying to make it better than it is. It's about being real with yourself and going, this is where I am right now. Am I happy? And really being honest and truthful to yourself. And a lot of people haven't ever done this, and it took me until the age of about 30, or in my early 30s, to really question, am I headed in the right direction? Because I can follow a path all my life, but if it's not the path that I want, am I ever going to be happy or fulfilled? So self-discovery, the first major principle that you need to follow. And here are some of the pitfalls if you don't do it. If you never ever ask yourself that question of, are you on the right track? I can promise you one thing, guys, you'll grow old and you'll be lonely, and you're never going to really have that fulfillment that you achieved something great in life, or that you gave it a go, and you don't want to have regrets. Okay, so you don't want to be someone who says, I wish I did this, I wish I did that. And growth comes from doing things that challenge you and push you. Otherwise, you just grow old, right? Now, I see a lot of people today that are enormously gifted. They're very smart. They're very talented. Unfortunately, they never push themselves. They never question their purpose and their direction. And a lot of them, their potential is just wasted. Unfortunately, a lot of people sit at home watching TV. They never push themselves to do anything greater in their life. And look, there's nothing wrong with that. But there's so many people that have such great gifts and talents and potential. And if you never ask yourself that question, I guess you would never really know, would you? And so, unfortunately, that's what happens to a lot of people. Now, one of the great things is if you were to go through this personal growth and self-discovery phase, you will grow, you will start to nurture your own skills, you will start to discover your passion and all the things that really make you tick. And it's a very exciting process to go through, guys. And while going through this process, you will start to open up doors, and the potential for you to achieve things suddenly becomes unlimited. I mean, you can take any number of paths and you can see, well, if I take this path or I take that path, I can achieve this, I can achieve that. And by doing that, I can shape a lot of different things in the world. And it's very exciting. There is no limit to your potential, but you can reach your potential by going through this all-important phase of self-discovery. So that's the first major principle that you need to go through. Now, the second is, once you've discovered your why and you have worked out, okay, well, this is the path that I want to go down, you need to now arm yourself with the skills and the ability and the confidence and the support around you to make this happen. And I call it empowerment, because empowerment is all about giving yourself wings, if you like, so you can fly, right? Now, you can't skip these steps. You got to do it in this order. So once you've done self-discovery, now it's about empowerment. Now it's about learning, reading, listening to people who've done it before or who've walked down the path that you're about to walk down, and learning from them, really giving yourself the ammunition. It's almost like feeding yourself with all the good stuff so that you can now take this journey. And sometimes you need to let go of all the baggage from the past. It's letting go of limiting beliefs and letting go of a lot of stuff that's going to hold you back. So empowerment, absolutely critical, and one of the next principles that you need to follow. Now, if you don't go down this path, it's like restricting yourself. You could be the world's best kept secret that no one knows, all right? It's like having an absolutely amazing voice that could sing in the opera, but if all you ever do is sing in the shower, how's anyone ever going to know you've got this potential, right? And you've got to let it out, but you've got to have the confidence and the ability to do that. So, a lot of people today restrict themselves, or they're restricted and they don't even realize they're restricted. But it's about breaking free from that, a lot of those chains that have been imposed on us. And you can certainly do that. You can empower yourself. A lot of people feel stuck. unfortunately, because of the conditions that they're in, or they've been placed in, or they've placed themselves in, they feel like they can't really move. Maybe you've got a mortgage, maybe you've got debts, maybe you've got this and you've got that, and you've got a family, and you've got aged parents that you've got to look after, and all sorts of responsibilities, and you feel like you just can't move. It's not a good feeling, but it is one that you can overcome. Imagine if you could have the freedom of choice, guys. Imagine if you suddenly said to yourself, this is the path I want to go down, and I can choose this or this or this to help me get there. How much lighter would you feel? You'd be able to sleep comfortably at night. Even if you haven't achieved it, just knowing that you can achieve it, that positive sensation is amazing for the soul. It just relieves a lot of the burdens and pressures of the world on our shoulders. You can just relax and enjoy the moment. And having that freedom of choice, very empowering. And, for a lot of us, sometimes we've got to take baby steps, right? And we're not saying you have to go and change who you are overnight, but it could be little things. And like you can see in this picture here, even just changing the way you dress, maybe changing one shoe. I'm not saying you walk around with 2 different shoes. People might think you're a little bit strange, but just being able to have that confidence to make those changes, I think, is such an empowering thing to do. So empowerment is the second key principle that you need to follow through in order to make this transition out of corporate. All right. Now, once we do that, we're now ready to put a plan in place, to have a strategy and some goals and some objectives to achieve. Because again, as you would know, working in the corporate world, you need to work to certain objectives. What is it you want to achieve? And again, going back to that original question, what is it you want and why? But now that we've got that clear and we have the confidence to move forward, it's about putting that strategy in place. So if I want to achieve certain things, what are the steps I need to do or take to make that happen? It's no different to putting a plan in place in your corporate career, right? Do the same for your life. Do the same for your business if you were going to go into business from this point onwards. You need to have a really clean strategy that is easy to follow, and one that you're on board with, one that you believe in, you've empowered yourself with to move forward. And anyone with a clear strategy will move leaps and bounds ahead of someone who doesn't. Now, imagine if you didn't have a strategy. This is what your life's going to look like. You're basically going to be directionless. You're going to be not sure of which way you're going. Are you coming? Are you going? Are you stuck? Do you move forward? Do you move backwards? Where are you headed? And it can be very confusing, and this can paralyze someone. So you want to have a clear strategy. If you never had any goals to aim for, well, where are you going to throw that dart? Where are you going to land? Imagine if you set off on a plane journey and you told the pilot to just fly. I mean, sooner or later you're going to run out of fuel, right? I mean, where are you going to land? How far is the journey going to take you? All of those sort of things. You need to know where you're going. And so no goals pretty much means no direction, and no direction means you're going to get stuck. Okay, and this is what holds a lot of people back. So a clear strategy always starts with a clear roadmap. One, we know where you've come from because we've talked about it and we've drawn a line in the sand. We did that on the first key principle of self-discovery. Now that we've empowered ourselves on the second principle and we know exactly how we're going to move forward, the strategy is laying a clear roadmap to get to your goals and having them defined, putting timeframes in place. Look, you might not meet some of these timeframes realistically, but at least you've got something to aim for. You know that if you're going off the path, you can bring yourself back, and having good mentors and all to support you, absolutely critical. But having that strategy in place will help you to give you a view into where you need to head to. And guys, it's fantastic to achieve goals and really achieve that success. And being in the corporate world, I don't need to tell you guys, you would know. Have you ever achieved success? Have you ever made or achieved a target or a goal or just won at something and you feel great because it didn't just happen? A lot of hard work went into it. I'm sure you planned it to happen. I'm sure you put some strategy in place. You achieved it, and now you celebrated it, right? It's exactly the same. That strategy is going to help you achieve your goals. And then the fourth principle that I want to talk about, and this is really where the rubber hits the road, it's all about implementation. You can have the best plans in place, but you got to take that first foot forward. You got to actually do some work. You got to get stuff done. You got to get out of bed and make it happen. Got to make that first phone call. It's all about implementing that strategy. So if you don't implement, and I can tell you guys, one of the key things that holds people back is procrastination. And if you get stuck and you don't implement, you are going to restrict yourself. Now, you could sit back in your corporate career for the rest of your life and go, oh, it was all too hard. I never, I wish I could have done this. And if only I had this, and if only I had that, and if only I had more time or more money or whatever. Well, guys, it's never going to be perfect. And the only people who really restrict us these days is ourselves. We are our biggest obstacle. Right now, you're in corporate. You might feel like you're stuck, but really you can get out of it. People have done it and you can do it as well. So the only restriction that you place on yourself now is yourself. So this is one of the things we want to help you remove this from your burden, and you are no longer going to be restricting yourself, right? And we talked about procrastination. It's great to dream, but dreams are just dreams, and that's all they are. They become real goals and real missions in life when you start taking that first step forward. So you don't want to be that dreamer that goes, oh, I wish I could do this. I wish I could do that. How lovely would it be? You want to be someone who actually goes out and makes it happen. And we want to make you, really just jump out and take that first step. And you can see this picture here. Actually, it's got to be scary jumping out of a plane. I haven't actually jumped out of a plane yet, but it is one of the things I'm going to be doing very soon. And sure, I'm terrified, but I know that I'm going to be okay, all right? Because people have done it in the past, and I'm not looking at people who've failed. I'm looking at people who've succeeded. And in this case, I would urge you to look at people who've succeeded and don't hold back, all right? Go for your dreams. Go for your goals. This is what you were meant to do. Push yourself and take that first step and make that leap. It's not going to be that scary once you've made the decision to do it, all right? Because you can do it at your own pace. The amazing thing is you don't have to race against anyone else. Let other people do what they're doing. This is just meant to be at your pace that you're comfortable with. If you want to step it up and start doing things at a faster pace, go for it. If you feel, because times are tough and things are happening around you, slow it down. But keep taking one step forward every day, because as long as you are moving forward, you are moving in the right direction. Okay, you don't want to ever move backwards. And finally, guys, the fifth principle that I want to share with you to make this all work, and we've talked about the first four, but the fifth and the most important one is having the right support. Okay, it's critical to have the right people around you. Now, I used to think that if I could have all my colleagues and my friends and my family support me, that would be fantastic. It doesn't always work like that. I'll be very honest with you. Sometimes your harshest critics and the people that are going to challenge you the most are the people that are closest to you, like some of your past colleagues or current colleagues, your friends and your family. They're going to give you all the reasons why you shouldn't do what you're about to do. And it's not because they don't believe you can do it. It's because they don't want you to fail. They don't want to lose you. They want to keep you safe. They want to protect you. And they're just used to you being in a certain space. But guys, it's not their life that you're leading. It's your life. So having the right people around you, critical. And the worst thing that can happen is you go out on this journey, this exciting journey, and you do it all alone. I can tell you, no one likes to be all alone. It's lonely. It's scary. It's depressing. And it can be overwhelming. And sometimes you just want to shrivel up and disappear because you feel like no one knows what you're doing. No one gets it. No one cares. And it's just a lot of hard work. And, that's one of the pitfalls. A lot of people, they get to this point, they've done all of these principles and they haven't got the support to help them on. And when you're on your own, guys, it's very hard to be inspired. It's very hard to be motivated. And when you're inspired, that's when all your creative juices are flowing. That's when all the best ideas come forward. When you're all on your own, you don't get that inspiration anymore. It's very hard to come up with clever ideas. And if you don't know certain things, how are you gonna move forward? So what you really want is to start forming a great team. And a great team is just people who are willing to support you and encourage you and inspire you. They can be mentors, they can be coaches, they can be good friends. They can be certain family members. They can be people that you talk to or chat to online, people in a meetup group. It could be people on Facebook, or on, through any other social media, or any other avenue that you've come across, where you could have been through a certain seminar that you met some group of people, and these people are all on the same journey, and they want to help you, and you want to help them, and you form a great team. And that's all team is, because the acronym of team actually stands for together everyone achieves more. I don't know if you guys have heard that. Maybe you have, being in corporate. It's so true, so true. And when you surround yourself with like-minded people, you'll find that everything just becomes easier. I mean, having people around you who just get it, whenever you have hard times, they get it. They'll be there to support you and lift you up. When you have good times and good wins, they'll get it. They'll know how much work you put into it, and you can celebrate and laugh and cry and all together. And it becomes, something that you do with other people. And it's such a rewarding journey, guys. So those are the 5 key principles I wanted to talk about. And I just wanted to run that past you. If you follow those 5 in the order that I've just talked about and never give up, you will succeed. It's as simple as that. So I just want to ask you all now a key question. You've come this far, so congratulations. I hope you're actually getting something out of this webinar. Here's a question I want to ask you, and by all means now you can jump in and you can type on your chat box. Why do you want to break free from corporate? Why do you want to get out of this rat race? What is it that you're looking to achieve? And feel free to write. I can see a few people writing now. Chris is actually saying one of the things he wants to do is he wants to get away from the high-pressure corporate environment, which he calls the rat race, and he just wants to spend more time with his family. Chris, I totally hear you, my friend, and I think everyone on this call or this webinar would agree with you. Anthea says that she would love to have more time with her family, and that's one of the major reasons she wants to break free from corporate. Anthea, totally get it. Thank you for sharing. Carl says that he just wants to have more time to spend with his friends and travel and do the things that he enjoys. For him, time is one of the critical things. He doesn't have enough time to do what he enjoys. Carl, I get it, my friend. Time is one of those resources we just can't get enough of, because it's a finite resource. So it's always going to run out. Money you can make, time you've got to treasure. And I totally understand. So thank you for sharing. And I can see there's a lot of others that are coming through. Sharing Terry's story from previously, one of the reasons he had to get out of corporate was taking a toll on his health, all the stress and the pressure. So I can see another lady here is talking about the stress, less stress in her life. Totally get it. Thank you for sharing. That's perfect. So having gone through that now, and I want you guys to always ask yourself the question, why? Imagine for a second, if you could live life on your terms, what would that look like? And I know it can mean a lot of things to a lot of people, but life on your terms could just be one of those freedom attributes, right? Imagine if you could have the kind of lifestyle that you've always dreamed of, just being able to enjoy it with friends, just like Carl was talking about earlier, and being able to travel, do the things that you hear other people doing, but you could do it. You might even have the money to do it, but just not having the time or allowing yourself the space to enjoy it. That's called lifestyle, guys. Imagine if you could have that dream lifestyle. What would that mean to you, right? And I know all of us, or a lot of us, have a yearning to really contribute back to humanity. For me, this was a really big thing. When I was in the corporate world, I didn't feel like I was making a contribution. I was helping the company achieve its goals and objectives, but it was a very clinical sort of thing. I was just really making targets. It wasn't changing lives. And I really wanted to make an impact on the lives of other people. And what is your meaning and purpose? Do you have one? Is there something that you could get passionate about? And just having that to drive you. And I think that's something really important for you to think about in your why. Now, guys, we've covered a lot on this webinar so far, and some of you might be excited. Maybe you're a bit nervous. Maybe you're kind of going, oh, now what do I do? I mean, I've got all these thoughts in my head. I know myself, I'm getting excited, and I can see that, yep, there's a few people that are going, yep, you're getting excited, just knowing that there's possibilities out there. Guys, what I want you to do is stand up, stretch for me, okay? We're about to enter the next phase of this webinar in terms of how you can actually make this happen for you. This is the exciting part. Remember, I talked to you about the model in the agenda and how we can actually achieve this. I'm going to share this with you now. So firstly, I want to introduce you to a program that I've put together with all of the time that I've had to work on this, through all of the great help that I've had from mentors that I've mentioned in the past, and with all the success stories that I've got from people I've spoken to. Guys, I want to introduce you to the Corporate Escape Accelerator program. Now, it's the same name as the webinar, but this is the actual program that I'm talking about based on all the principles we just went through. I'm super, super excited to be announcing this to you because I've run through this informally with a lot of people in the past, and it's helped a lot of people. I've gone through this myself, as has Terry and a lot of other friends that I know, in their own journey, in their own special way. And I'm very excited to bring this to you in a way that's going to impact your life moving forward. So the outcome I want you to think about in this is, what is this going to do for you? Again, asking yourself those questions. What's the outcome you're looking for if you were to go through a program like this? If you could get out of corporate and do what it is you're passionate about, what would be the outcome you're looking for? Freedom, lifestyle, less stress, more holidays, more time with your family, all of those things. I mean, it could be all of those things, right? And that's fine. You deserve it. So have a think about the outcome that you would like to achieve, right? And just even if you wrote the word outcome now and come back to it later, that's totally fine. And maybe one of the questions is that you're asking yourself, and I know a lot of people ask this, and I used to ask this when I was talking to people, is, who would a program like this be right for? Could anyone do it? The short answer is anyone could do it, because after all, it is a program. You could academically go through the exercises and the motions and go through it. But who's it really for? And this is what I've come up with. It's for someone who just wants to change their life for the better. It's someone who's not happy to accept their current lifestyle anymore. It's for someone who's just stuck and wants something better in life, who's willing to work hard at it, who's willing to make a change, who's open to positive feedback and going through the personal growth and the personal development, and someone who's just willing to take a punt, go out there, make it happen, implement strategies, change lives, and achieve their goals. That's who this program is for. If you don't feel that that's you, that's totally fine. You can take everything we've spoken about now, and you can, you can jump off the webinar and you can implement that in your own special way. But this program is going to help you accelerate that journey. So that's who this is for. If you're someone who's just content with where you are, this probably isn't for you, because it's really going to challenge you and stretch you. So if you're excited and you're still with me, then let's achieve more together. Now, the thing that holds a lot of people back at this point is, you want to make this happen. You really do. You're really passionate about it. You're sincere about it. But there's a lot of stuff that's just holding you back. And when I think about all the things that held me back, I had a lot of roadblocks, guys, a lot of roadblocks. And I know you do too. So let's knock this out of the way. We're not going to kind of dodge the bullet here. We're gonna address it straight up, because these are real challenges that are going to impact you every second of this program. All right. Number one, you're going to get busy. You're probably already busy right now. You're probably too busy to even take on this program. That's okay. But if you want things to change, you're going to have to change. One of the sayings that I've come across, time and time again, just always rings true, is insanity is the definition of expecting a different result, but still doing the same things day to day. Guys, we have to change in what we do if we want a different lifestyle or a different outcome. So simply saying you're too busy might be your reality, but it doesn't have to be your excuse. All right. So if you're too busy, it just means we need to find the time to make this work. All right. So now that we've talked about that, that should be easily addressable. The second thing is, let's talk about confidence. Remember, we talked about empowerment. Empowerment is so critical because, guys, a lot of us would love to do all these amazing things in our life, but we just don't know if we're going to be good at it. What are people going to say? Are they going to judge us? Are we going to be successful, or are we going to fail? And, are we going to be the laughing stock of everyone? We don't want to just be another statistic. And the fear holds us back. But let me say to you right now, guys, it's okay. If you lack in confidence, it's not a problem. It's it's reality, it's fine. Bring it up and write it down. Go, look, I would like to smash this and I would like to get past this. And it's something that, I really want to get better at. So don't be afraid if you're lacking in confidence. This program will help you get through it because you're not going to do it alone. Remember, you've got a support group around you. Now, guys, I just want to, I'm conscious of the time here. I'm looking at the time. We're going to run a little bit over an hour. I just wanted to see that it's okay with you guys. I don't want to rush this component here because this is very critical. At the same time, I am conscious of time. So is it okay, guys, with you if I run just a few minutes over an hour? Are you guys okay with that? I just want a quick show of hands. Yep, you're good. Yep, let's keep going. Enjoying it so far. Wonderful. All right, guys. Thank you so much for that. So let's keep moving forward. One of the things I want to say to everyone that's on this webinar is you are definitely a fit for this program if you want to make a positive change in your life. You're ready to roll up your sleeves and get dirty and make it happen. All right. So we've talked about this already. You know that you're a fit if you tick all of those boxes. So hopefully that is you, and then we can work together and we can make your dreams come true. So let's share with you the model that we actually use to make this happen. So remember we talked about the 5 principles? Well, I put them together in a nice little model that can define the program that we've actually got in place. So remember the self-discovery phase? That's the first one, right? That's the first principle. On top of that, we build the empowerment section, which helps you to now have the confidence to break through and make things happen. We then put in place a strategy to actually take you from A to B and achieve your goals in a time frame that you want, right? None of this should be a surprise, by the way. We've talked about this already. And then the implementation phase is actually making it all happen. This is the top of the triangle that kind of completes the picture. And surrounding all of this is the support structure. So there are the 5 key principles neatly laid out. You can see how this all builds together and how we fit this into the program with the Corporate Escape Accelerator is we've designed a program that is customized to fit even the busiest of lifestyles. I don't care if you're the CEO of the company, you can do this program. It's totally fine. You just need to find the time to make it work, and this program can slot in a time that suits you. So it's customized for even the busiest person. The great thing is, guys, if you ever get stuck, you can always call for help. There's support all the time there, so you're never going to be alone. All right, so that's one key thing I want you to know, and that's a rock solid support system without which it'd be very hard for you to go through this program. And third, it's all personal. I mean, each of us, we're not just a number anymore. When we go out into this journey, you are an entire powerhouse, and we each want to help each other succeed. I want to see you succeed. You want to see the next person next to you succeed. And we form a personal network. And this network is going to be something that you can nourish, you can grow, and you can use it to your advantage because it's going to help you to grow as well. And you can put back and you can help other people. So it's a personal support network that is unlike anything you're going to come across. So I'm very, very excited about that part of the program. And they're the 3 pillars, if you like, that sit on each end of that triangle around those 5 key principles. And finally, what makes this all kind of run smoothly is we've designed the program to fit within 6 weeks. So it's a 6-week course that fits within your busy schedule. It's full of video and audio training that you can do in your own time frame when you're free. So there's no excuses about being too busy. And like I said, there's a lot of support there if you get stuck. We've got weekly coaching calls where you can jump on a call with all your other members in this program, and they all become friends very soon. And I'll be on there personally every week to help you and guide you and coach you, listen to some of your questions, go through all the stuff that you're stuck on in the previous week, and help you move forward so you can have breakthroughs and get that week done and move on to the future. And around all of that, once you've done this 6-week program, you've got the personal network to help you grow. And there's monthly coaching. If you want it, you're part of a closed Facebook group, which is going to be very unique. Not everyone can be a part of this. You have to be a member of this program. And I can tell you guys, it'll be something that really binds you and really, makes you a part of something quite special. Because from here on, your life is going to change, and you're going to inspire a lot of other people as well that look to you as a shining example. So guys, there you have it. There's the model, there's the program. And the one thing I want to ask you is, what drives you? What is the thing that really is going to get you out of your comfort zone to now make this big change? You know, how are you going to leap off into the unknown and make that change? And obviously, you know, there's going to be people that you see that are stuck, and you're going to help them as well. But what is it that drives you to want to make that change? And we talked about your why and what is it that you want, etc. So again, the question, you know, what is it that drives you? Well, I can tell you that no matter what it is that you want to achieve, by going through this program, it's been tested and proven. This is your fast track, ladies and gentlemen, to help you achieve your goals. You could do it the slow way, you could do it the fast way. Guys, this is just going to help you keep on track with proven principles that have been used time and time again by a lot of successful people. And here it is clearly laid out in a program that can work in your time frame. It is a 6-week intensive program. So you are going to get down and get dirty. The reason we picked 6 weeks and not 12 weeks or 1 year is because 6 weeks has been proven across a variety of different programs out there to be an intense period where your mind works at an accelerated pace so that you take on a lot of information, but you stay inspired, you stay focused. It doesn't allow your mind to wander too much, and you start making some very big leaps forward. That's the main reason we did it over 6 weeks, and we know that you're going to achieve some really great breakthroughs and results in that time. But remember, it is a journey. And while you're going through this journey, guys, just like the owl that you can see on the picture, your antenna are going to be opened up. You're going to be open and receptive to a lot of changes. You're going to see opportunities emerge before you. And the great and exciting thing is, I want you to embrace it. As you notice these things, you know, write them down, look at it. Is this going to help you? Is it not going to help you? But you don't want to get distracted, but you want to be open. And this is just changing your mindset now. And it's very, very exciting times. From here on, folk, you're going to be making informed choices. You're no longer going to be living according to someone else's wants or someone else's dreams or someone else's, desire for your life. This is going to be your informed choices. You're not going to be jumping off into a bridge that's broken or leading into a river where you're going to drown. Here's a proven path, and you're going to be walking along it with support, and it's a safe environment, and you've got people around you that care about you and are going to help you make this journey together and make it successful. Okay? I'm excited, guys. I don't know if you can see it in my voice, but now you might be asking, so can you just run past me, Gavin, what's included in this program again? Apart from the 6 principles and the model and everything we've talked about, you're going to get 6.5 hours of audio and video content that you can take anywhere you like, wherever you might be. You might be traveling. It doesn't matter. You can take this information with you and you can work on it. Guys, if you have to jump on a plane and travel overseas, imagine spending your time, rather than watching some of the movies on there, imagine planning your future, going through these exercises, planning your future, and really working out a better lifestyle for you down the track. I know that's the stuff that will keep me awake. So 6.5 hours of audio and video content that can change your life. Weekly modules, like we talked about, that's going to be structured according to those principles that you can calendarize and you can work to your busy schedule when you want. And talking about those weekly modules, I'm really quickly going to touch on those just very quickly now. And again, none of this is a surprise, guys, because before we even get into the program, we go through a period of preparation, just like any great sporting team does. As a team, we prepare, we get you ready, we get you in the right mindset so that you're excited and you're ready to take on the next journey. And then from there, we kick on into the first module in week 1, which is the self-discovery phase. We talked about this already. It's all about discovering who you are, discovering your why, what makes you passionate, drawing that line in the sand and saying, all right, I'm now ready to take that next step forward. And this is what I want to achieve in life, right? And then we empower you in the second module, and we give you the tools and resources to help you break through some of those limiting beliefs and, so that you're able to kind of take that next step forward. And now you're excited, you're empowered, and you're ready to make your dreams a reality. So we do this in week 2. Okay. And then in week 3, we talk about the strategy on helping us move forward and, putting a plan in place that's going to get us from A to B and in a time frame that we want, and so that we can achieve certain goals and dreams that we've always wanted to do. So this is the strategy component. This is where we really think about carefully how we're going to achieve these goals, and we put a plan in place. And then the fourth week and the implementation module is where the rubber hits the road. So guys, we mentioned this last time, where this is where you actually get stuff done. This is about taking the positive steps forward, making the phone calls, doing the research, attending the webinars, attending the seminars, reading the books, talking to the right people, being a part of the right groups, doing your due diligence and your research. This is about all the action steps that you need to take. And again, this all gets laid out in this week, and you have to define what that's going to look like for you, all right? And when you get stuck, you've got the support calls to help you as well. And then number 5, we introduce you to the concept of leverage. And leverage is all about, how do I now get more time to make this a reality? Can I use technology to help me do things quicker or better? If I were going to set up a business, I can't do it all on my own. Who are the right people that can help me? How do I leverage people's skills? How do I tap into other resources? What are the systems and technology and things I should be looking at or thinking about to make this even easier for me to achieve? So leverage is a very powerful component, guys, because a lot of people fail because they try and do everything on their own. They're not able to let go. Leverage is going to show you exactly how to do that and why you need to do that, all right? And then finally, we wrap it all up in the 6th week, and we put a game plan in place. We bring it all together, and we start really looking at, how do we make this a reality? Where are you going to get stuck? What are the roadblocks? How do we overcome them? We share a lot of things in this week that are going to inspire you and help you. At the end of the day, this is all about taking action. And at the end of the 6 weeks, you're really starting this journey. This journey is to help you over the next 12 months to break free out of the corporate world. Imagine what that is going to look like for you guys. This is meant to be a very powerful week, because this is really where your life takes a turn into the future for the better, okay? And remember, if you get stuck, or you just want to join in and see how other people are going, and you want to be a part of that community, you want to be a part of our group coaching calls every single week, where we recap on what we've talked about in that previous week, see where you're up to, where are you stuck, what help do you need, and prepare you for the following week. And we address your concerns. And again, it's also a time to celebrate, because you might have had a breakthrough that you want to share. So the group coaching calls, absolutely critical. You will be a part of a very special Facebook private group. You can't get admitted to this group unless you've gone through this exercise yourself, or this program, or you've broken free from corporate and you've got some things that you'd like to share. These are the people that you'll find on this group, and I really, really encourage you to tap into this resource and make as much use of it. It's 24/7 by your side, and you'll make some great long-time friends and mentors and colleagues, and you might form partnerships, and all sorts of great things come out of these groups. So I'm very, very excited about what's going to come out of this group as well. And here's one of the things I wanted to let you know. Once you sign up to this program, you've got 24/7 access to it. You can tap into it anytime you like. Like I said, it's for the busiest people. If you only have 1 hour today, and you may only have 2 hours in 2 days' time, that's okay. You do it according to your time frame. You tap in when you need to tap in. 24/7 access online. And once you get access to this program, guys, it doesn't expire after 6 weeks. I'm going to give you lifetime access to this program, and all the updates that we make as we refine this program into the future, whatever other resources get added to it, you will have access to all of the Corporate Escape Accelerator program stuff that we put out. So there you have it, lifetime access. So set your own pace, do this in your own time frame, and the exciting thing is it's all a journey. So they always say, and you've heard this saying before, slow and steady wins the race. Now, we're saying the same thing, but it doesn't have to be slow. You can set your own pace, right? Set the pace that you're comfortable with. If you need to slow it down, slow it down. If you're ready to ramp it up and speed up, speed up. Do it at your own pace. This is your life. This is your journey. Don't compare it to someone else. It's got to be right for you, okay? So set your own pace. Now, just to recap, this is everything that you get in the Corporate Escape Accelerator program. You get instant online access to the entire program, all the PDFs of all the material, all the exercises, everything that we go through in those 6 modules, all of the MP3 audio from all the podcasts of all the people I've interviewed, and you'll have easy access to this on our membership site. You'll also have direct access to the private Facebook group, so you get 24 access to all of our members that are going through exactly what you're going through. So there's a lot of powerful connections that you're going to make there for support and encouragement and chance for you to celebrate success as well. All the Q&A coaching calls every single week, you've got access to those. We definitely encourage you to be a part of that. I will definitely be attending. I'd love to see you all there as well and hear from you. And you get each of the weekly modules, 6.5 hours of video and audio content, as I mentioned, on the self-discovery, empowerment, strategy, implementation, leverage, and support side of things. So you can get all of that information, and you can go back a week if you need to and redo an exercise, totally fine. And you can do this program as many times as you need to, because you've got lifetime access to it with all of the feature updates. Finally, guys, with any great program, we have 100% risk-free, unbeatable guarantee. Now, what do I mean by this? This is not something that I want you to do and think, oh, is this going to work? What if it doesn't work, etc. I want to eliminate all of those doubts and fears. This program will 100% work for you if you work the program. I mean, it's one of those things where I can't do it for you, but if you do the program, you are going to be in a better place. Remember that promise I made earlier? I'm sticking to that promise. If in 60 days, which is more than the 6 weeks of the program, you don't feel like you've made some significant breakthrough in terms of your thinking and your mindset moving forward and breaking free from corporate, I'm happy to give you a full 100% money back guarantee. So no questions asked. At the end of the day, I want to work with people and I want to help people to achieve their goals and dreams. If you want to be a part of this journey, jump on board. Let's do it. If you don't think it's working for you, that's not a problem at all. But at the end of the day, there is no risk at all to doing this program. Okay, so I just want you guys to know that right up front. And as a personal invitation, I invite you to join me for the next 6 weeks and discover your true potential as you embark on this amazing journey. It is going to be an amazing journey, guys. I promise you this. I mean, it's really hard sometimes when you try and picture what your life could be like if you did something different. But imagine if that was reality. How exciting would it be? And the thing is, you can do this, guys. You can do it. And there isn't another program like this that I've seen anywhere, because if there was, I would have done it years ago. I had to create this because it doesn't exist. But now that I've created it with the help of a lot of good people around me, I'm so excited that you're going to be a part of it. Take the next 6 weeks challenge. Do this program. I'd love to hear from you. And this is what we need to do to make it happen. There is an investment, of course, like any thing in life. And you might be asking, well, how much is it going to be to join this program? Great question. So normally a program like this would retail for somewhere over $1,000. I've seen online programs go anywhere from $1,500, $5,000 in some really big cases, but usually over $1,000 for a really worthwhile, life-changing program. And this really is. Now, if I were to run this over a 2-day workshop, I'd be charging at least a couple of grand per seat. And I've had people say, yep, we'd be willing to pay over $1,000, $1,500 for this program. But I priced it at $1,297 with all the resources in place. But I've got a special for you today. Remember, I talked about the webinar special. So for you that have joined the webinar, folks, I'm only going to do it for $497. You can be a part of this program for less than $500. If that's a lot of money up front for you, we can do it in 3 easy payments of $197 each. And we're talking Aussie dollars for this program. Okay, so that's $497 Aussie dollars, or 3 times $197 Aussie dollars, equal payments. And you can get access to this program. You can start changing your life. So, it's a really special offer. I wanted to keep it affordable to everyone. I mean, just to put it in perspective, I've done programs that are worth thousands and thousands of dollars. When I did my MBA, just one of my subjects, which was today completely redundant now because it was talking about marketing, but all the marketing strategies mostly are redundant that I learned, more than 10 years ago. That cost me $3,500 to do an 8-week program. And it's all redundant because back then there was no YouTube or Facebook or social media. I mean, the world has changed. So a lot of the old ways of marketing have changed. But what I can tell you in this is you're going to get lifetime access to this program, and all the changes that I make as we go along this journey, you're going to have access to it for under $500. So guys, I want you to take it on board, be positive, and change your life. And you can get started by going to this site, breakfreefromcorporate.com. That's my website, /program. When you go on there, scroll right to the bottom and you'll see this section here. And you can click on one of the two links, either the $197 pay monthly, three equal payments of $197, and you click the enroll button, or you can do the $497 upfront payment, and then you're ready to get started. You get access to everything straight away. All right, guys. So there's really how you get started. breakfreefromcorporate.com /program. And I really cannot wait to see you online and making some positive changes in your life. Now, I wanted to end this webinar with a couple of positives. And one is just a story of a good friend of mine. Her name is Lisa, runs a business called Content Maximizer. And Lisa and I used to work at Oracle together. And Lisa was an amazing person that really got me started on the whole personal development journey. And, I've seen her go through some amazing growth. I saw her get out of corporate. Now, here's someone who was really successful at what she did. She was in sales. She was always the number one person in her area. I always saw her name up on the leaderboard. And, when I went on a retreat with Oracle because of being a high performer, she was right there. And, when she quit Oracle, I asked her the question. I said, why did you resign? And she said, well, I'm going to do my own business. And she was passionate, and she had this, this look about her that just said she was going to take over the world, and she had a real purpose and energy behind her. And I actually asked her, I said, why did you quit your job? Why are you breaking free from the corporate world? And one of her major reasons was stress and time. And she was just not getting enough sleep, and she was working around the clock. She was a hard worker, and that's why she was successful. But one of the reasons she wanted to do her own thing was to have time freedom. Obviously financial freedom, but really time freedom. And this was one of the big eye-openers for me when I was in my Oracle days. And today, Lisa runs a very successful business called Content Maximizer, helps a lot of people to get their business up and running with their websites and all their social media and things like that. She's even helped me with what I'm doing and helped a lot of people. And she gives back to the community and charity. And, she's impacted lives all around the world with some of her work, and just a great role model. And I wanted to share her story because, again, she's someone that I know very well who broke free from the corporate world. She didn't have to. She had a very, very good career, but she got out because she wanted the time freedom and to get away from all that stress and hectic lifestyle. So well done, Lisa. You're living the dream life now, working where you want. You're traveling. You're enjoying life. You look relaxed. You're happy, and all the very best. And folks, now that I've shared that story with you, one of the last things I wanted to do was just leave you with a positive quote from one of my other mentors, a guy called Richard Branson. And I've read his book, and I've listened to a lot of his stuff, and he's an amazing individual. Now, here's someone who just broke free from all of the naysayers. He didn't finish school. He got out there, and he just built his dream. And his dream was just changing lives through business and everything he did. And one of the things he says here is, if someone offers you an amazing opportunity and you're not sure that you can do it, just say yes and learn how to do it later. And what a simple philosophy. Don't get stuck in the detail. Look at the bigger picture. If someone hands you a golden cup with opportunity and they say, here you go, what Richard Branson is saying is, grab it with both hands and just run and go for it. You'll work out how to do it later. So guys, what I'm offering here with this program is to change your life by going through a 6-week intensive course that is going to really get you to question where you're at and all the things you need to do to change your direction, break free from corporate over the next 12 months, maybe grow a business, whatever it is you want to achieve, but become successful at it, change your life, achieve your goals and dreams, and really start making a positive contribution. And guys, that's my why. And that's my wish for you to achieve everything that you can achieve. And as is what Richard Branson is saying, take that step, work out how to do it later, but take the opportunity now. And once again, I'll leave you with this slide, which is the breakfreefromcorporate.com/program. click on one of those two buttons, which is either the monthly upfront or the 3 monthly payment of the $197, whatever works for you. Get enrolled, get passionate, get started, take the steps forward. I can't wait to see you on the program, and I can't wait to hear your success stories and talking to you in person. And with that, I wish you the very best, and we'll talk very, very soon. Over and out, guys. Have a great day. Cheers.